how about the North Carolina Courage as we are on the road with, presented by the great folks at Continental Tire, Travis Roffler, Amanda Henson, the whole gang. We thank you for bringing this to you and all the great corporate partners of the North Carolina Courage. They played 3 games in the NWSL Challenge Cup, and no surprise, they're 3-0 with 9 points. Hello again, everybody. Dean Linke, delighted to be with you this Saturday night and delighted to be with my talented co-host, former North Carolina FC youth star. She also played at Penn State, Anna Whitty. Anna, happy Saturday to you. Great to be with you.
Yes, likewise. Happy Saturday, Dean. I'm excited for Monday night. More soccer ahead.
Yeah, I feel like it's been too big a gap here. You know what I mean? Like the games were happening fast and furious, and I can't wait till Monday night.
I know. I was kind of sad to see 8 days in between the last 2 games, but I think they needed it, and I think a lot of teams needed it. I did enjoy some other NWSL games, though. There's been some really great games. I'm excited to chat about that during the show. But, yeah, I'm excited to see the Courage out on the field again.
All right, Anna, before we push forward, let's take a look back at the last game for the North Carolina Courage as the Kiwi, Abby Urseg, getting the winner. Great service from Jaylene Daniels.
Yeah, one-touch service into the box. I mean, she timed that run perfectly, too. The fact that she was able to get her head on it perfectly. She barely had to get any ups as well. 80th minute goal as well, right at the end of the game. Just professional goal. All parts of the goal were extremely professional. So it was a nail-biter towards the end there, but glad to see that they found the back of the net.
It's so awesome to see the fans there from the secret watch party. As we will tell you that we're going to spend some time with Jessica McDonald, and she's like, that's one of her favorites part, even sitting on the bench, seeing that goal, and then the secret watch party up on the big screen. So we'll have a little bit more on that too, Anna.
Yeah, I'm glad that the Courage country was able to get involved in these games, even though it's all virtual, but it's great to hear their feedback as well. They're definitely just as big as part of this tournament as the teams are, so.
We've talked a lot about Megan and Bobby and their great work out in Utah, getting us great video footage. And, of course, that includes the Citrix practice video as the team is getting ready. Remember the whole mantra from Paul Riley, we're going to burn the boats. And even in practice, they're burning the boats. Make no mistake about that, Anna Whitty.
Oh, for sure. They all practice so hard. We've even talked about how Paul Riley plans his game off of who plays well in practice. There we see Jaylene Daniels. We'll get to talk with her later on the show as well. I'm sure they're just doing practicing patterns, playing small-sided, getting ready for Monday night, but not trying to tire their legs out too much.
Yeah, it was great to see Jaylene Daniels out there. Ryan Williams, who looked really good at right back for Addison Mary. It was interesting hearing Crystal Dunn the other day saying, hey, the rumor was Paul Riley might need you to go to right back. She's like, no, I'll stay right here at the 10 or the 9.
Yeah, I mean, she could be using that defense line, but I don't think they need her. I think it's such a deep bench that Ryan Williams played really well in her debut of the NWSL Challenge Cup. But yeah, everyone back there, we don't need her back there. She could stay in the middle. She plays well there too.
I hope all the Courage fans are enjoying the time we're spending with the players during this Continental on the road show, including the very fun in-depth interview. Anna, I'll let you set that up now.
Yes, we had a chance to speak with Jaylene Daniels about the Challenge Cup, about Black Lives Matter, and just about other things going on in her lives. This is our in-depth interview presented by MENDI.
So here we go with our in-depth interview presented by MENDI. Dean Linke and Anna Whitty, so pleased to be joined by the best left back in the world, bar none. Used to be Jaylene Hinkle. I got to get used to it. February 1, it became Jaylene Daniels. I feel like Paul Riley will never say Jaylene Daniels. He'll always call you Jaylene Hinkle. But congratulations on the marriage on February 1st. I heard it was a big deal in Monument, Colorado.
Yeah, thank you. It was really cool. It's a good day. We lucked out with some weather. Really nice, special, but thanks.
Yeah, the good thing is you got it sort of snuck in before all this crazy COVID stuff. And we're dealing in this world, but it looks like everything in Utah has been pretty smooth. What's your impression of how safe it's been?
Yeah, honestly, there was a lot of precautions that we were, asked to follow before we got here. And the way that it's been organized and set up here, it's been really safe transition, I feel like. it's definitely hard. We feel a little bit, locked down, finding different ways to entertain ourselves on the off hours that we have each day. But I'm thankful for sure just at how diligent the NWSL has been at keeping us safe and making sure we're all staying healthy.
Well, you've been a standout out wide on the left back position and just getting forward so often, and you always look so fresh in each game. So how did you train before the tournament, knowing this is your style of play and knowing you'd be playing a lot of minutes in tournament games?
Yeah, I think Paul was really helpful at making sure that we still had workouts that we could adhere to while we were waiting to gather again as a team. So I think I know myself and just our team, we take it very seriously, knowing that that there could be a potential for a tournament. And then when we found out that there was, our team is always about keeping to the standards of whether it's on our own or with the team. And so it was just a good off season. I think for myself personally, having so many months off was obviously at times boring and frustrating, but I think for my body physically, it was really nice to be able to take my time with the training, making sure that my body was healthy going into play here in Utah. And so I was more so thankful, I think, just to be able to get my body healthy and ready and to be out here and perform well.
Well, another positive from your off season is that you signed another 2-year contract with the Courage. So what motivated you to want to be a part of this organization and in this Courage jersey for 2 more years?
Yeah, I think it's just the environment and having the relationships that we do with the staff and with my teammates. There's really no other place that I'd rather play for. And so when the opportunity presented itself to have a longer contract, of course, I jumped right on it. I love being in North Carolina. I love the team that I'm surrounded by, just the standard and commitment and knowing that, we're in it to win it and to have a good time along the way. And so I was thrilled when I was asked to re-sign for 4 years.
Jaylene, it was great to make the connection that you grew up in Colorado. I spent a lot of time there. I spent time with Lauren Donaldson. Tom Stone was my first ever broadcast partner, by the way, with Colorado Rapids, and he was your coach. Those two guys were important to you, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I still have great relationships with both of them. They both attended my wedding. And so they're just really phenomenal coaches, people. Lauren was really one of the first coaches that saw potential in me, really brought me under his wing to develop the skills that I've been able to develop along the way. And Tom is quite the character, as you probably know from working with him. But they both just pushed me in ways that I didn't think I could be. And so they're just huge instruments in my career now. I'm so thankful for that.
I do feel like if I put a microphone in front of Tom Stone and said, what do you think of Jaylene Daniels' development? I think he would go crazy. Has he said anything to you about how well you're playing? Because, Jaylene, you are next level.
Thank you. I've been able to chat with him a little bit here and there. And he's always encouraged me, even when I'm not having a great game. He's texted me, called me in the years past when it came to the gameplay or playoffs. And so they both still to this day will, give me feedback about how I'm doing and just continue to push me even from afar. And so it's been really cool to just develop those relationships even within the soccer world, and to still have them in my corner has been special.
Well, obviously the NWSL was the first American sports league to be back after the coronavirus hit. So more eyes have been on you than usual. So what kind of feedback have you guys received from fans and just new fans?
Yeah, I think the feedback's been really good, honestly. I think just because we are the first league back, it's definitely brought more awareness to our league. And so we're grateful for that, especially the partnerships that we've had to be able to give us this exposure. And so that was really important to us coming into this, which has been really great. And I think the feedback from the fans is just as usual, super supportive. They're glad that we're back. We're glad to be back and to be able to, put on a show for them, since right now it has been a bit of a challenge with quarantine and everything. So it's been fun, and our fans have always, been really involved and a part of our success. So we're grateful for them.
All right, I'll take this one, Anna. Sorry about that. I thought you were going to go again. Jaylene, we're figuring out this host and co-host thing on when we go and everything, but it's so incredible to be with you. Look, Paul Riley said we're going to burn the boats, whatever that means. But his mentality was, we're going to win all 7 games. Nothing's changed with that mentality, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's been our mentality since we came in, since day one, of just, when we get here, this is going to be our sole focus and priority. And so, Paul, even when we started back a month ago, of how quick it was going to be a turnaround from preseason to season, of just, we're going to be all in, dig our heels in, and push forward, so not unusual for Paul or for us. And so even the rookies coming in and joining the process, they've done a phenomenal job with that and the success we've experienced so far.
Looking ahead to Monday night. Looking ahead to Monday night against Sky Blue. Obviously, they looked really well against the Dash, kind of different than what they looked like in their past 2 games. So what do you guys kind of expect from this team?
Yeah, I think that they're one of the teams that are coming in with a chip on their shoulder. They've had a lot of off-season adjustments, and so no game to them, as we can tell, it's being taken for granted. And so we're expecting a hard-fought battle. Just coming in and expecting them to, not really knowing what they might throw at us. It's just a different year for them. So I think we're going off of years past film that we have on players that we know that they still have, the games that they have played, being able to focus in on what they're doing in those games. And then I think just sticking to our game plan as usual. We don't adjust too much for other teams, especially because we've had a solid foundations over the last few years. And so we expect more or less teams to adjust to what we do. So I think we're just going to go into the game as we always do, ready for a battle, expecting to put on a good performance. Results, we hope will be in our favor. But if we put out the effort that we usually do, the performance that we usually do, we expect to do well.
All right, got 2 more questions for the great Jaylene Daniels as part of our in-depth interview presented by MENDI on Continental on the road. And the first one is about your playing time. Like, for instance, Crystal Dunn has said, I'm okay only playing half. But Paul Riley's been pretty open about the fact that Lynn Williams, you, and Davinia, who I think all 3 of you could win the MVP of this entire Challenge Cup if it ended right now. It seems like you're cool just staying out there the whole time. Is that your mentality, Jaylene?
Yeah, I think it's just expected of us as fullbacks is being able to perform for 90 minutes. And of course, there's days that my body is feeling tired. And I think my performance against Chicago was a little bit under its normal standards. I think just the week that we had leading up to that game, it was definitely wearing on me. But I love being out there. And if it's for 20 minutes or 90, I try and take advantage of every minute that I get. And so thankfully, my body has held up for all 3 games for 90 minutes, and it's been a blast being able to be out there.
There's been a lot of big moments in this Challenge Cup. The fact that almost 600,000 people watched that first game on CBS. The fact that your team collectively with Portland took a knee. When you start to really look at the North Carolina Courage, not only do we have women of color, we have women superstars of color. What is your take, your message about Black Lives Matter right now?
Yeah, I think it's just so important that we are able to voice the importance of Black Lives Matter, no matter, what color we are, what gender we are, our upbringing, that's a portion of our community that is hurting, and that as a team, it was really sweet to see that we were going to be united in saying that this is a part of our community that needs our support right now. And so I think for us players of color on the team, it meant a lot to be able to demonstrate that on our first game with the world watching, and to say that, we're here and we want to make a difference in this country that we live in. We're grateful to that we can do better, and we want to do better. So it was really special, a really special moment for us.
All right, Jaylene Daniels, you are a wonderful player. Congratulations on your wedding. Thanks so much for being a part of our in-depth interview presented by MENDI.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, that was great to spend time with Jaylene Daniels. We actually we had one more question in there because I was talking about we needed a nutmeg counter so that every time she did a nutmeg, we could place it somewhere. And she had a laugh about that, but it kind of got technically interrupted. But, man, she's a lot of fun, Anna, for sure.
Oh, she is. And I just love watching her on the field. She's so capable of so much. Only just, as an outside back, the way she gets the attack, she made that amazing the amazing cross to get the only goal in the past game. So, yeah, enjoyed having her on the show. But now we are going to move on to our second interview with the Iconic CEO. This is the second part of the interview that Dean had on the show earlier this week.
Mistake. One way to amplify that platform is to align with some of the best teams in the world. I feel like I can say from where I sit, the North Carolina Courage might be the best women's pro team in the world. That had to be important to you.
Oh, definitely. I mean, the word iconic, it speaks for itself, right? We of course write it differently, Q and Q. That's already iconic, in a different way. But we focused ourselves on the top teams and clubs around the world. I mean, around the world. So from football, basketball, handball, Formula One, whatever it is. And of course, we started in April, opening our business and office in United States. We hired a great new business development officer for North America, Dean, who's really experienced, in the sport and industry. And, we looked at, North Carolina that came into our path. And of course, female football is so growing and very well. And we have seen, of course, all of us and experienced the women, football, World Football Cup, that made a huge success all over the world. And being part of the North Carolina Courage and the North Carolina Football Cup, which is one of the best female teams in the last 3 seasons. Of course, you don't need to think twice about it, and we jumped on the wagon. And it was a short period, not forgetting, but, with the assistance and the help of the likes of Santiago, and his team, we really went into a rapid because, as you know, we had the tournament, that was playing now. And so we wanted to close before the tournament. And luckily and fortunately, both teams, they worked really hard around the clock. And we are very proud to be in that tournament with the North Carolina Courage, and which is one of the best female teams in the last few seasons. But of course, we want to bring everybody in. We want to make it the best platform, into the market and the #1 fan engagement platform around the world.
2 more questions for Kazim Attila, the CEO for Iconic. If you had just one sentence, and it's called the elevator speech, just one sentence to tell everybody what Iconic is all about, what would that one sentence sound like?
We took the best of breed of different features for fan engagement in one single platform. Instead of hopping around from a frustrated fan from one platform to another platform to follow your club or your league or your idol with all the different content, and not having a proper close relationship with your heroes, not be rewarded being a fan, appreciated in the right way, and having a more purposeful, because there is an Iconic Foundation and we support with the clubs, our partners, charities. This will be the first time that Iconic is creating an amazing platform for the fans to have a more personal, more rewarding, and a more purposeful fan experience.
If other leagues, other teams want to learn right now more about Iconic, where do they go? How do they find you?
I mean, they would go, of course, the first thing is on our website, which is www.iconic.com, and it's with a QQ, so IQONIQ.com. And, they can, find us there. They see all our partners. They see what we are doing. And, we have been working very hard to get ready for the launch of our app, which is, in September, which is the start as well of the new football season 2021 here in Europe, Dean, as you know. And so we really look forward to get as many partners as we are. We are in negotiations and discussions far advanced with over 150 rights holders. So it's really going in a rapid tempo, even during the coronavirus, that it is a terrible moment for around the world, for every business. And of course, as you know, for sport and entertainment. But, fortunately, it has been a catalyst for Iconic. Clubs have, rights holders have seen what Iconic stands for. And especially, as you have seen, it's more digital. People staying home, they can't go to the stadium. So what needs to be done is digital. And what better than having a platform that really gives the ultimate fan experience to the fans itself.
All right, as we wrap it up, again, we start every show with the Iconic hype video. And right off the bat, you can see me with my patented trademark saying, how about the North Carolina Courage? I'm going to put you on the spot and have you say it one time. How about the North Carolina Courage? Can I hear you say it?
Hey, how about the North Carolina Courage? Follow it,
right,
look
well
at
done.
it, engage.
Well done, Kazim Attila, the CEO for Iconic. Thank you for your partnership and look forward to meeting you soon.
No, thank you, Dean, having me on, and really, on this journey with the club and the fans, of course, which again is the most important, and really look forward to create something exciting for everyone.
Well done. We'll have more. Stay with us, everybody. All right, we will have more. That was good spending time with the CEO of Iconic. All of these corporate partners stepping up big right now, Anna.
Yeah, Dean, he took your line there. How about the North Carolina Courage? How'd he do? Rating 1 to 10. How'd he do?
He got a 10 because you know what? If you're a sponsor, you get a 10 in my books. And I know our fans are going to support our sponsors. Speaking of our sponsors, it's Continental Tire on the road with, and it's also the Continental Tire fan profile. I do want to tell you that no matter where the summer takes you, Continental Tire provides the confidence to get you there. Now through August 31st, 2020, Continental Tire is offering up to a $100 Visa prepaid card for every 4 qualifying light truck, SUV, or crossover tires purchased at your local dealer. Visit ContinentalTire.com for the full details. Continental Tire, official sponsor of the North Carolina Courage. And I love this segue because Anna Whitty, we're not going to say what year she was born, but she was only 6 or 7 when the original Carolina Courage came around. Back then it was called SAS Soccer Stadium. Now it's WakeMed Soccer Stadium. And you were even saying you have the poster after they won the WUSA Championship in their 2nd year.
I do. It was a signed poster too, which is crazy. And then the other day I was going through some old pictures and I found a picture of me and the old mascot. I was playing in a post game or a halftime show. We were playing small sided with some of my former Castle teammates. Now it's called NCFC. So much has changed over there. But yes, I grew up as a Courage fan. So I'm glad to see them back.
Well, and you kind of grew up, I got to believe, with this little bit of passion to also want to be a broadcaster because you've done great work and it's been awesome to be with you on this show. How cool is it for you to go from being a fan to a player to now being a TV personality talking about it?
Yeah, life comes full circle, right? It's been really great. And I've heard some feedback from some of my former coaches in the Castle program. They've been watching this show. So, I mean, it's been a long time, but it doesn't feel like it. And it's just really cool to see how also women's soccer has just come from since I was 7 or 8 years old. So yeah, being able to co-host this show with you, Dean, has been really fun. And being able to see the attention women's soccer has gotten has been even better.
Well, I know this is the fan profile presented by Continental Tire, but I do want to mention Charles and Colvard because I can tell you when the Courage won that title way back when in the WUSA, I got a ring, and now I'm going to get a Charles and Colvard ring. The team already got it. It was presented, and it is beautiful. I mean, it's amazing. Charles and Colvard, a great sponsor. You know, when you think about being an athlete and winning a championship, getting that ring is a key, important part of the whole journey.
For sure. I mean, your memories stick with you forever. You're always going to remember the game, the season, the people that you won it with. But I think when you have something tangible that you get to wear, people ask you about, and then when you get asked about that season, you can just talk about your memories. I think it's something cool to be able to look down. I've been wearing my Big Ten champion ring. I don't have it on today, but sometimes it's fun just to see it and to be like, oh man, my sophomore year of college. So many memories, such a fun season, a great group of girls. I think all the Courage people are just think it's so great to have something that they can remember forever.
I got to believe Jessica McDonald is wearing her Charles and Colvard rings, but she's won so many rings. She won 2 titles with North Carolina. She won everywhere she went, and we've got a big interview. I'll let you set it up, Anna.
Yes, we got to sit down with Jess McDonald today. She's out in Utah with the team. This interview is presented by Healthier Toes.
This is the Healthier Toes interview with Jessica McDonald. And like I said last week with one of the players trying to get back from injury, we hope everything is healthy about Jessica McDonald because we want to see her back out on the field. J-Mac, great to be with you.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having me, you guys.
How about getting us up to date on your health and how you're doing? It felt like Paul Riley's, he's been teasing us so much that we might see you in that Sky Blue game. Is that possible at all, J-Mac?
Yeah, it's a definite possibility. I've been feeling good for the past couple of weeks. It was just something that we needed to make sure of, to make sure I felt good and feeling 100% going into this tournament. So I've been kind of taking my time here, sort of as precaution, I guess you could say. So yeah, just continue to feel good and taking care of my body, and hopefully to see some minutes come Monday.
Well, I know your experience in Utah is a little different from the rest of your teams because you are in an apartment with your son. So what's it been like in Utah, and also, being injured and waiting to play in your next game?
Yeah, just trying to treat life the same as I would as if I were home in North Carolina. So routine is pretty much still the same. My kid's still in school, so I'm still homeschooling a little bit there. So that definitely keeps me on my toes, that's for sure. And then, yeah, just trying to take care of my body outside of training every day. So, just keeping busy with everything, especially during quarantine, because I'm not one to obviously sit and twiddle my thumbs, and my kid, he keeps me on my toes anyway. So it's pretty much the same as if I were home, and just being in an apartment makes it feel more like home than a hotel would. At my request, I did ask the league if I could be elsewhere other than a hotel with my kid for 5 weeks. It just didn't seem too ideal for me, for him, in this situation. So I just wanted to feel more like home, and we're still able to go through our daily routines together. So yeah, like I said, not much has changed, but just still trying to keep busy.
Well, you also
Go ahead, Anna.
You spoke highly of Paul Riley's ability to just piece this team together. And I think we're seeing that in this tournament, that each team is trying to figure that out. But he also spoke specifically about you and Lynn, and how well you guys play together up top. Could you talk about what works so well for you and Williams to play so well together?
I think it's the simple fact that we've been playing for about 5-6 years straight together. We know each other very well. And to include Dabinia and Crystal Dunn underneath us, we all understand each other's movements. We all understand if Lynn's getting the ball, she knows exactly where I'm going to be, and vice versa. I don't even have to look. I don't even have to look over my shoulder to know exactly where Lynn's going to be. It's just a really cool, non-communicative relationship that we have, because we've been playing together for so long that we understand each other's strengths and each other's weaknesses. And I think that's what has kind of glued us together. It's just obviously knowing each other on the field, knowing each other's movements, and just connecting. And that's just like a strength of ours, just being able to connect. And sometimes we're both in wide spaces, and then that's when Dabinia and Crystal Dunn come in between us. So just trying to get the four of us working off of each other. It's been an incredible adventure, obviously, playing with Lynn. And she's definitely been one of my favorite strikers that I've ever played with, because she's an engine. I mean, what better player than Lynn Williams that'll go 90 minutes where I could take a rest sometimes, and she's doing the work, and then I'll be doing the work as she gets a rest. So it's kind of nice that we can work that well off of each other in such a professional manner.
J-Mac, what about the mentality? As I know you're dying to get back out there. In the meantime, though, Paul Riley said, we're going to burn the boats. Our mentality is we're going to try to win every game. He's made all the moves to win every game. He wants to win 7. That's the goal, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We came here to obviously continue to get better as a team, but all the teams, we came here for the same reason, and that was to win the NWSL Challenge Cup. So obviously, yeah, we do see that. We do want to see that in our future here, but right now we are just that team that likes to take it, one game at a time, and just trying to fix some of our weaknesses, fix some of the mistakes that we made the game before, and then seeing how we can tweak some things in order to improve as a squad. So yeah, we're just going to take it one game at a time, and hoping to see the championship in the future.
Well, playing for the North Carolina Courage, you can expect everyone's best at this point. How do you and this team manage expectations for each game?
Yeah, it's almost like us against the world, and we like that feeling. We like that kind of pressure. And so we are just kind of in our own bubble, because we know what our goal is here overall as a squad. We still have the core of our team together since 2016, and some even since 2015. And so just being able to obviously continue to have that connection, that camaraderie on and off the field, is so important for this squad. we get along so well. And I think that's what kind of glues this team together is our friendship off the field. I truly believe that. I know everybody pretty equally on this team. We're all just very close with each other. And I think that's just a very important part of being a part of a team is everybody getting along, everybody being on the same page, but willing to work very hard day in and day out for each other. And I truly think that's what can separate us from other teams is obviously our closeness with each other on and off the field.
Finally, J-Mac, I'm so glad you mentioned the world, because the world we live in right now with this pandemic and social injustice, it's a different world. It's a world that you've dealt with your entire life. And just of late, Lynn Williams, Crystal Dunn, Jaylene Daniels, and now you. Not only do we have women of color on this team, we have women of color with power and substance and a voice. You were able to kneel with the Portland Thorns. Black Lives Do Matter. Your thoughts on that big moment?
Yeah, it was very important for us as a league, and not just the women of color in this league, because obviously we're all friends in this league. Everybody is. Everyone knows everybody for the most part. And the most beautiful thing was being able to come together with Portland Thorns before the game, being on the same page, like, hey, this is what we want to do. Are you guys on board? We would love for you guys to be on board as well. They spoke amongst each other as a team, and we spoke amongst each other as a team. And this is without coaching staff. And so just being able to approach each other with our platforms, it's just something so beautiful, something powerful that we're obviously able to do together, not just as two teams, not just as Carolina Courage and Portland Thorns, but as an entire league. You see this entire league kneeling now. And so I just truly believe it's just a beautiful and peaceful protest that everyone's coming on board. And I think truly that there's going to be some type of social change here. And I'm just hoping for the better. And it's just nice to see everybody kind of having our backs in this situation.
All right, J-Mac, as we close it out right here, and I've told you this numerous times, the way you've seized the moment and have got out of your comfort zone. Here's the deal. The fans absolutely love you so much, and they miss you so much. What is your message to them, because they want to see you?
Yeah, just thank you so much for your support. It's been nice to see everybody on the Globotron at the stadium. We do see the virtual party that's going on during our games, the virtual watch party that's going on during our games. And it's really cool to see people kind of, celebrating on the screens on the Jumbotron when we score a goal, or if something incredible happens, you watch everybody's reaction at the same time. So I just want to thank all of our fans who have been so consistent with their support for us. We truly do appreciate all of our fans out there and the support that we get, not just as female footballers, but just as female athletes in general. And that's just what we need more of nowadays. And so it's nice that it's got its this pandemic sort of has its pros and cons. We have this virtual support. We had the most people watching an NWSL game, us, the Portland Thorns, in the first game this year. That set a record. And so obviously kind of forced people to watch this game. So I guess that's the positivity with this pandemic that's going on right now. So I just want to thank everyone, who's supporting this league right now. And for those of you who are new fans to the game of soccer, welcome and thank you.
Big time player, big time personality, and a big time person. Jessica McDonald, so great to be with you as part of our interview corner sponsored by Healthier Toes. Thanks, J-Mac.
Thank you.
All right, Jessica McDonald. Anna, here's what I mean. So here she goes. She makes the World Cup team. She gets to play in a game or two, but maybe wasn't, player 1 through 15. But she's maximized every opportunity. She got out of her comfort zone, says yes to almost everything. I love her on and off the field.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I think everything that she said was just so important. And I think even just she's proving that to be true, Dean. Like, she's injured now and we may see her Monday, but she's really pushing to be there Monday. And the fact that she's injured, but she's still in Utah with her team. She brought her son along, just as a huge testimony to who she is as a person and who she is as a teammate on this Courage team.
You mentioned Monday. Let's take a look at the upcoming schedule. As not only are the North Carolina Courage playing, you see that July 13th, it'll be a late night game. We'll have the pregame show 9:30 Eastern on all the North Carolina Courage social media channels. We've talked a lot about that game, but there's some other games prior to this one that you wanted to get in there real quick, Anna.
Yeah, we'll see a few games tomorrow night, Sunday. The Spirit take on the Dash tomorrow at 12:30. And then make sure you check out the Red Stars versus Utah at 10 o'clock tomorrow before our match on Monday.
Pretty crazy as you look at those standings. If it ended today, the North Carolina Courage would have to play their first game against the Chicago Red Stars. That is just mind-blowing indeed. Anna Whitty, your final thoughts before we sign off.
Well, I really enjoyed my time with Jaylene and with Jess. It was just great to pick their brains about what's been going on in the Challenge Cup and just in the NWSL in general. I'm excited for our pregame show, Dean, against the Sky Blue team. They've really upped their game against the Dash. I rewatched their game the other day. I took some notes. I'm excited to see how Paul Riley puts up a team against them. And I'm excited to see you again. I got to get my coffee ready for Monday night, but 10 o'clock, these are great games.
All right, indeed. 9:30, the pregame show presented by Aetna. And then right after the game, remember, we snapped right on it. The postgame show presented by Charles and Colvard. In the pregame show, we'll ask Paul Riley about the ring that we just talked about with you in the fan corner. I want to thank Jorge Acuna, the VP of Broadcasting, doing an amazing job bringing you all of these shows. I also want to thank Steve Malik and Kurt Johnson and Pete Chandra and Kyle Prairie and Santiago and all the great folks. But more importantly, I want to thank you, the great fans of the North Carolina Courage. So with that, for Anna Whitty, I'm Dean Linke saying one more time, how about the North Carolina Courage?